Taylor, I'll be going over your work this week and giving you some advice, pointers, etc. Yeah, it looks like you photograph food and or drink. Um, it's like kind of like within your home. Nice, nice. Okay, yeah. To start off, like kind of just flipping through real quick, your compositions are mostly are kind of like strong. Some are stronger than others. But to start off with this first one, I really actually love this first one quite a bit. It may be one of my favorite photographs out of the bunch that you have here. It's more of an intimate shot. You know, it feels more like it's your beer, your drink. This is your experience with, like, I assume. It actually may not be your feet, but it could very well be your feet. You know, in the background here, it actually looks like maybe it's somebody else's. But if it makes me think that it is your feet and this is your experience, and we're sitting somewhere and we're having a drink with you. Um, but yeah, I like that quality of it. It's the exposure is nice, the quality of light is nice. The point of focus maybe have a larger depth of field, a deeper depth of field. It's a little bit shallow. I maybe want to see this sharp as well as just kind of the back of the rim here, just to really focus on the whole glass to be really sharp if possible. So I'm not sure what kind of camera you're using, if you're using a phone or if you're using something where you have manual controls and you can use a larger depth of field. That would be my advice with that one. But I like the perspective of it. This I like too. It's kind of like a dead-on composition. You usually don't want to put things dead in the center of photographs. You want to use a rule of thirds. To have more of a dynamic frame, so that your eye moves. Like this does help it right here. This line right here breaks it up quite a bit and does help. But to have something center, it can get a little bit of something of a make your eyes kind of dead, not wander through the photograph as much, which is not what we want in photography. Not we want any kind of visual arts. We want your eye to move as much as possible throughout the photograph. With that being said, though, the exposure is just a little bit. It's a little bit underexposed, a little bit dark. If you have access to Lightroom or Photoshop or any kind of photo editing software, I would adjust that just a little bit to make it a little bit brighter. And the color balance is a little bit yellow. It's an indoor shot, obviously, so you're going to have some indoor lighting, and that's going to throw the color off just a little bit. I do like your composition on this. Again, it is kind of getting a little bit centered. It's not bad though. It's a little bit below. It's in that rule of thirds, and you have this kind of breaking that dead center frame, which I really like the fork here, which breaks up the frame. Again, the color is a little bit off, but yeah, overall it's okay. The Nutella, I like that you're stacking things a little bit. It makes me feel like you're acting in the photographs a little bit more. Maybe watch your background though. This could get a little distracting with this, even though it's out of focus. It draws attention away from your central or from your subject. And then if you were to do it, maybe not use a glass background. Just be really hyper aware of your surroundings and how you want to show these things. And again, your color, kind of the theme throughout all of these is the color's a little bit off. Just being indoors, you're going to have those kind of problems. Um, yeah. I like that you put the sauce here off to the side. It's not dead center. Um, but like maybe I would maybe like push the concept with these. You kind of get a little bit repetitive as far as the point of view. They're almost all the same distance away from the subject at this point. Maybe if you're really close in here, and we kind of look kind of gross, maybe you photograph just this peel of the peeling label here with the pepper sauce in the background, something like that, just to kind of push your vantage points and push what you're looking at. And again, you're kind of like dead center in the frame on this one. It's not really too sharp. Maybe it's sharper in here somewhere than the actual bottle is. It does make me think about, being in your home or an intimate setting, something like that. It makes my imagination go a little bit, but as far as a photograph, it's kind of a static, kind of dead frame picture. Um, and this is okay. I like that it's you're kind of off centered here a little bit, and I like you're kind of connecting the relationship between coffee and coffee pot. But maybe if you had photographed just this, like the Mr. Coffee with the bag and the reflection, kind of think beyond just what's in front of you. Think about like the shadows that you can use, reflections that you can use, things like that when you're photographing. Yeah. And this one, it gets kind of the same thing. It's kind of dead center photograph. This light in the background becomes a little distracting. The highlights, really watch that, and the whole photograph is really yellow. So keep that in mind too. And this one, it's a little bit weak. Point of focus is just kind of all over the place. Again, maybe a different perspective. You're further away or closer in. Maybe if there's one, broken open, smash with your fingers. Think beyond just food. Think of what can food translate into. What can it be a metaphor for? What other meanings can it represent? It can mean so much to so many different people in so many different places around the world. How can you translate the meaning beyond just a bag of Fritos? This one is nice though. The lighting is beautiful. That's what I mean by that. It looks like you have a window at your background or behind you, so it's really nicely lit. It is kind of dead center though, which is not ideal. But I do like that it's dead center here, and in the background we have two people. So it kind of puts me in the setting. I'm gonna always look at the background and look through photographs, trying to put things together. Obviously, it's like you shop at Costco, so I start to get an idea of who I'm talking about or talking with here too. But yeah, keep those things in mind for your composition. Try to think deeper. What else could food mean in your next project? Not that you're doing food, but think deeper. In your next project, whatever you choose it to be. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me.